Hello everyone, Abby here of Purple Cottage Crafts, and I'm back with another tutorial video to share with all of you today. So I'm currently working on a pretty large project, and this is just one component from the project, and I thought I'd go ahead and film myself working on this just in case somebody doesn't know how to, or you know, kind of covering up like a blank side of a piece of paper or whatever material you're working on, and just thought I'd go ahead and share that with you just in case somebody stumbles across my channel and they're not sure how to do that, or maybe I'm giving you kind of another option or another way to do that type of project. So first of all, the supplies, going to be working with the Art Basics 3D matte gel and the texture paste white crackle, and then this I just got in a few days ago. Actually, I think it was like the end of last week actually, not that it really matters I suppose, but this is the Art Alchemy Metallique, and this is the one of the new lines from Finnabair with Prima, and this one is in white pearl. I'll show what it looks like. I don't know what she's done with her products as far as like the different alchemy waxes and the paints and stuff, but oh, they smell really, really good. They smell like they have like a light cologne. Now this one not so much, probably because I just opened it up, but this is what it looks like. Really, really pretty. But her waxes smell really, really good, which is probably a weird thing to say, but they really do. And then for some tools, I just have a couple basic tools. This is just a palette knife, and this is from Prima. It's one of Finnabair's Art Basics. It's just a silicone brush. I like how it kind of smooths out the different medium I'm going to be using. I have just a few pieces of paper from a book. Now, I am a huge, massive Gone with the Wind fan. Love that movie and all of everything about it. So I have a few of their the books that Margaret Mitchell had written. So this one I got, it was pretty thrashed. The spine was almost, you know, not even hardly there. You know, there's like some big rips and stains and stuff. So I bought that one for the sole purpose of upcycling those pages into different projects I'm making for myself, because I love classic movies and I love Gone with the Wind. So I'm comfortable using a few pages from the damaged book for this project because I have quite a few others that are like perfect. So just wanted to mention that. This is a beautiful 12 pattern paper I got from Michael's in the clearance section. Why it's in clearance, I don't know. I think it's beautiful print. I don't typically craft too much with papers that are quite this thin because I like to add lots of layers and sprays and stuff, but this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous print. And I do have papers. I have quite a few actually this thin in my crafting stash, my paper stash, but I use different thicknesses for different things. So I want to kind of make this one more like a thicker piece of paper. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me grab a couple pieces here if I can reach it. Here, for example, this is a really cool tattered, or not tattered, but really cool textured paper I got from Michael's, and I did the inside so it wasn't just a plain cream. But this is like a thicker one, like your coffee dyed papers and your thicker pound cardstocks. So I really want to use this because it's going to fit perfectly within the project, and I won't spoil the surprise if you're looking forward to this. Maybe you're not, I don't know. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of film myself working on this. I'm going to go ahead and kind of get my desk cleared off a little bit more, and I'll come back and I will share with you how I'm going to alter the back side of this paper for my project. So I will see you in just a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'll zoom in just a little bit here. Wrong way, Abby, wrong way. I always do that. So the first thing I want to do is lay down some of this 3D matte gel. You can use the matte medium gel, you can use matte gel, you can use Mod Podge, whatever it is you want to use. I like this because I just, you know, I like to use this for different projects like that, and it's just kind of a cool, and it's transparent, so if I wanted to do some stamping underneath it, it would be protected. So that's just the closest matte medium type of gel I had next to me. But you can use what other kind of collaging mediums that you may have. So I just grabbed a few random pages out of here. And I don't really want these, this isn't going to be like a true collage in the context that there's going to be all these strips and things lying around. I kind of want to make this as, oh, look at that. It actually, I didn't even realize that it's almost the same size as the paper. Pretty cool. I didn't even think that, because I thought I was going to have to cut a bunch of sizes up. And I kind of want to keep this more flat, kind of not so many thicker layers, because this is going to be going into a signature, and I don't want to have to try to hand sew through, stitching through like, you know, 2 or 3 layers of papers, this like this paper that's got some mediums and stuff on it. I hope that makes sense. But, you know, you never know with me. I might decide to go ahead and rip it up and just do it that way. So we'll see. So let's kind of map out the pieces here first. So I'm going to push up here since that's closer to me if I do it on the bottom. And I'm trying to decide if I want this part to be on there, part 4. I don't think I do. I don't know why. I just kind of don't. So I'm just going to need like a little couple strips down here at the bottom, which won't be that big of a deal to collage. So there's going to be some parts of this that are going to be cut. So I'm just going to grab my scissors real quick and just kind of, let me just keep that one in case I want that page for something different. I'm just going to just snip off a piece here. And it doesn't have to be precise or actually the same width. You know, you can do whatever it is you want to do. So, because I can always trim any of the excess off. So, get that, and we'll just do it from the bottom of this one. I love how this edged or aged edge looks. I didn't mean to cut that one quite so thin. Probably did it too thin. We shall see. Because this book is, this reprint was from the 60s, but it's got the natural, you know, aging on it, and I love that. I know a lot of us crafty peeps out there, ladies and gents, like that kind of look and vibe. Yeah, it's a little bit too, I don't know why I cut that so narrow when I was thinking. Let's do the next piece here. This part's really exciting. I'm sure for all of you, you're like, wow, Abby's cutting strips of paper. Riveting. So, there you go. And I'm not going to ink the edges of this paper either, which is typically what I do, but for this project I'm not going to do that. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is go ahead and lay down these strips towards the bottom of the piece of scrapbook paper. Let's get this open over here. And I'm just going to use this silicone brush. You can use whatever it is you have available, of course, in your craft supplies. I kind of wanted to play with the silicone brush from Finnabair, and I saw a couple YouTubers that I really am inspired by, and that I learned a lot of different techniques and stuff. One of them had showed it, and I was like, oh, I should give that a try. So I knew if I didn't like it, I could return it to Amazon, but I do like it, so I'm going to keep it. Alright, just trying to make a quick line here. My ceiling fan sometimes will dry my mediums before I'm ready for them to be dry. I don't know if that happens to any of you that live like in, you know, warmer climate with humidity and stuff like we have here in Florida. So, okay, so let's go ahead and put this down. I'm trying to put the part with the natural distressing towards the bottom end, so that's what I see when I look through my project, which you probably guess is a journal of some sort or tome, because I'm talking about signatures. So, and that's okay. Alright, sometimes when I'm doing, well, I should say most times when I'm doing collaging, I'm not always quite so careful when I'm putting down the pieces. I just kind of put it down kind of haphazardly. You know, it's kind of the fun of collaging. But for this project, I kind of wanted to have a little bit more you know, more precise, I guess you could say. There's a little piece right there I need to put on. So put that on this little corner right down here. And if it overlaps in that piece, not a big deal at all. Can you guys even see what I'm doing? Sorry. Sometimes I forget when I'm filming to always check the viewfinder. Okay, so there we go. So now we're just going to do the same thing with the rest of this. Make sure I'm in frame here so you can see me. Okay. So this isn't like anything, you know, earth-shattering new technique, come watch this video type of thing. This is just me doing some collaging on some, you know, kind of more controlled collaging, if that makes any sense, on this. And I like to do videos like this, as I mentioned in the intro, because sometimes you will get new crafters that stumble across your videos. I mean, it happens to me all the time when I go out and I'm looking for something specific, or I'm just kind of clicking through the suggested feed on YouTube for certain videos or whatever. I would click on them like, oh, I never knew how to do this, or I never knew how to do that type of a thing. So that's why I like to do these kinds of videos. I know that these aren't necessarily earth-shattering techniques or whatever. I realize that. Or anything that's new. So just to kind of explain why I like to do these kind of videos. on my channel. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of pick up where I left off here, and I'm just going to kind of do more of the same. So, and I'm going to run my heat tool over this to kind of help this dry a little bit quicker. So I will be back once I get the other book page down, because like I said, I'm just going to be doing exactly what you're watching me do here. And we'll do the we'll work with the other two mediums that I pulled out of my stash to finish collaging on this page. So I'm going to get this part down, and I'll go ahead and turn the camera off, and I will see you once I get the other page glued down. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, I almost forgot to turn the camera back on. I'm watching Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte on Turner Classic Movies online. I got so engrossed in it that I started to almost like mix everything and start going, and I was like, Abby, turn that camera on, don't start. I love classic movies, and if you know anything about me, aside from being obsessed with purple, is I am a huge classic movie nut. Huge. And Gone with the Wind is my favorite movie, in case you were wondering, and Bette Davis is my #1 favorite female actress of all time. They are not that she's not in that movie, of course, but anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I went ahead and just kind of folded on that line again that I scored before I started this video, just to kind of reinforce that. And I think most of us know this, that whenever we have like a set plan or a set design or something in our mind, as the project continues, you kind of change it up a little bit. So I didn't do like complete overboard collaging, but I did add some more pieces of paper of the text, different ways, just little strips of the bottom and just stuff like that, just to kind of give a little bit more interest, I guess, so to speak, instead of just, you know, text all the way through. Because I have like a little piece of the side piece of one of the pages I cut down. So what I'm gonna do now, this is still, it's still a tiny bit damp, like, but not really. I'm gonna go ahead and work on this next part because I need to get cracking on this video. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of the crackle paste, the white crackle, and I'm gonna put it on just a scrap piece of packaging. And I don't want to, whenever you're going to be adding a little bit of color or something like that into your, let me zoom so you can see what it looks like when I add the other part, because you don't want to contaminate your project that you're working on. So let me get this up over here. It's kind of a little bit on my paper here. So you know, you can mix it in whatever you want. I have old plastic, you know, packagings from like Tim Holtz stuff and Prima and things like that. I don't think I need much more than this. Okay, actually might be just a little, let me take this a smidgen back because I don't want to waste it for sure. Okay, so let's get the lid put back on this stuff. And this works great. I've used this before, as you can tell, on many different projects, not just mixed media, but also, you know, some other projects like, you know, journals and things like that. So let's go ahead and get this back open again. And I'm going to go in this time with a clean spatula, because again, I don't want to contaminate the medium inside the container. Now this is my first time using this particular product in this way. I've done this many times with sprays, different other types of paints, things like that, but this is the first time for me to mix these two together. I don't want to put a ton on there. Grab my little toothpick here, because I don't want to dilute the crackle medium too much, because if I do that, then it will reduce the amount of the crackles and crazings in here, and that's the whole purpose of doing this, is to get that kind of a look. So let me get this put back on so I don't knock this over, because that would not be a good thing. Alright, so I'm going to grab another toothpick here real quick, and we'll kind of give this a mix. You can do it with your palette knife if you want to. Sometimes I just find it's a little bit quicker for me just to do it this way. And pardon my fingers, by the way, I have been inking and spraying like a mad woman the last few days, so my nails are pretty, they're not pretty, they look like they really need a manicure. So okay, let's kind of give this a pretty good mix. And I've used, like, you know, empty yogurt containers. Of course, this is too small amount for me personally to put like in a yogurt container, you know, or something, because it's not that much. But you can use reuse clear packaging and just all kinds of stuff. Even when you get like those slick kind of postcardy type ads for car lots, or, you know, things like that, those are pretty slick on the outside. And I've used those before too to mix different mediums. So make sure I get it in there pretty good. Alright, let's go and scrape this little bit off there. So I like to try to keep as much as I possibly can. Don't want to waste supplies. Let me show it to you. It's not going to look like anything right now because it's just white on white on white. But once it gets dry and you can see the crackles and the craziness, let me scrape my petal end off a little bit better here. Just like get a nice smooth, semi-smooth kind of a look here. Before my, I almost said my hand towel, but I guess you could call it that. So I'm just going to put this on, and I'm just going to smear this onto the paper. This isn't, you know, anything new or anything like that either. But like I said, I like to just do these kinds of things because I think it's fun to kind of share how I do different things and on different projects and such. And if that gets on the front a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. But just because, you know, like I said earlier, you never know if somebody randomly finds your video on YouTube before they find somebody else's video. Let me zoom in this a little bit here. And I like to be able to sit here and chat with you all when I'm crafting by myself. And, you know, I love watching my old movies and things like that. But, it's, you know, it is nice to also talk when you're kind of creating, whether you're Skype crafting with a friend or, you know, because all my family and my husband Steve's family is all back in Oregon and Washington State. So my son, like last night, my son called me and we just had a really nice conversation, just talking about what's going on in his life and his world and everything. And I'm actually going back to Oregon next month for our grandson's first birthday, which is my son's son, Kyron. And his first birthday, so I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be doing a Skype call kind of planning session, so to speak, with Emily, and we're going to be working on the different things for Kyron's birthday party and just some general decor. I mean, this is her first child as well as my son, so she just wanted some help with that, and I'm truly honored that she did. I do have a playlist, which I will link below, where I made a majority of the different decorations for Kyron's for his baby shower, not his first birthday. I'm getting confused here. And I will definitely link that below if you're curious of the different projects that I made. Of course, you can adapt them to whatever you want. You know, it could be for a girl, it could be for a wedding shower, whatever. It's just like, you know, some basic decor, some different banners. I did like a fabric banner, a couple different of those. And I think we're just about good. Now, I didn't want this to be completely solid with the medium. I wanted to still kind of see some peeks through of the actual pages from Gone with the Wind and kind of that text and the different layering and visual interest with the strips here and there. So that's why I didn't put out a ton, because I just kind of want to have a hint of this. So I'm going to let this dry naturally. You can use your heat tool if you want. I personally find that the cracks kind of show up a little bit better if it just allowed to dry on its own. I don't think it's going to take that long because it's, you know, where I started here, it's almost already dry. Plus I have other things I could be working on for this project. So I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'll be back when I feel that this is a little dry and you got some little crackings and stuff going on there. So back to Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte for me, and for you, I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so it's all dry now, and you can see that really pretty kind of pearlescent shimmer from the Metallique acrylic paint from Finnabair. And you can, let me stand up here so I can show you. Sorry, I got my charger on my camera again. My charger cord. So you can see that there, how pretty that looks, or how cool it looks, I should say. That crackling paste from Prima. The crackling there, and I love that the edge of the paper actually started to come up a little bit. It just kind of adds to that kind of distressed age look I'm going for this project. Just really, really cool. So next time I use these two combinations together, I might add a little bit more of that pearlescent acrylic paint. I was afraid to add too much because I didn't know if it would dilute some of the crackling medium. I've had that happen before, so I was trying to be a little cautious this time. But look how cool that crackling looks. And you got that really pretty pearlescent shimmer in there too. So I am very pleased with how this turned out. Now what I can do is you can do too. You can add some different sprays, or like some of the distress crayons, or some of the all those little things I have that are called gelatos, or you can just use some different inks. And that's what I'm going to do right now because I don't want to spray on this, because I don't want to cover this completely because I want the cracks and stuff to show through and little peaks of the text on the pages. So I'm going to use just a little bit of the ground espresso. Let me get my little paper here. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of come over here and just do a little bit of some inking like this. I'm just kind of going through real light. I'm not doing like a hard press because I want this page to look like it's been aged, but still have that really pretty shimmery effect from the, I keep wanting to call it the wrong thing, from the Metallique acrylic paint from Finnabair. And this one again is in white pearl. So I think it's just really, really pretty. And let me zoom in just a little bit so you can actually see it a little bit better. There we go. So this spot right here, it's got lots of some nice crackle there. I'm just kind of go over just real light here like that. And this is a little tip here too. If you're not used to using Tim Holtz's round ink daubers, I use both the square and the round. But when I come onto the page to start inking, I'm already got my hand going like this before I even touch the page. That way you're not going to get that edge of the circle, because you still can do that even though it's round, especially on especially with the square ones. So because when I first got the square ones, when they first came out, I was having lots of edges on the paper, much like this. Now this isn't from the ink. This is actually from the paper, edge of the paper, and I was doing that. But I was getting lines like that when I was first learning how to use. They're not like, it's not like it's difficult to use them, but if you're not used to you know, using that particular type of ink blending tool, you know, it can be a little bit of a learning curve. It's actually the next day from when I filmed this yesterday evening. It feels like I'm having a little bit of trouble articulating today. It's just due to my facial pain. So I apologize if I have like weird pauses or weird, you know, sounding speech or anything like that. So I'm just going through here pretty lightly. Like I said, I might go back, well, actually I will. I'll go back over, and on this piece right here that's kind of peeking up, I'm just going to put my finger here because I don't want it to rip up any further. And I'm just going to give the edge of that paper peeking up a little bit of distress ink, so it looks like, you know, it's been curled up due to time or, you know, whatever. And then kind of going over this strip here in the middle, I really want to kind of get a darker edge more than on the paper itself. And just kind of go, move these out of the way here a little bit. Make sure you can still see that my hands aren't in the way too much. And yeah, just kind of going over here pretty lightly. And what I'll do is I'll go back over this on the edges and really add quite a bit more ink on the edge parts of this paper, just to, again, kind of give it that look. Now this is going to be stitched together. It's one part of the signature I'm working on, but I'm still going to ink this middle piece here where it's creased, because you're going to see that, and I like to just complete that. So you don't have to, of course, if you don't want to. You do what you know what you like to do. This is just kind of how I like to ink things. Let me see here. I think I'm pretty good. Let's get down here. I'm trying to make sure I zoomed in, but then not so much that my hand's in the way. So, pardon my arm reaching across the camera. It's not very nice. Okay. Kind of going over this here a little bit. And even though I'm adding some ink to that, the spot that it's really concentrated with that white pearl, you can still see it. It's just really, really pretty. So I think if I would have added a little bit more, I would have gotten some of this shimmer over on this side. Like I said, I was kind of being a little bit more reserved because I've added too much in the past before with different mediums and with the crackling paste, and I didn't really have much of a crackle. So, you know, it's still a learning curve. You know, even though I've been crafting for, you know, 20-something years, you still learn something every time you craft, or if you're watching videos or crafting with your friends or whatever. You know, it's always a constant thing. You're always still learning. So okay, let's do this part down here, and I think will be good for now. So I like how this looks. I might come back in and do a little bit more Let me stand back up again. It's hard for me to see my viewfinder the way my camera is right now, so just trying to make sure I'm in frame. So you can see how cool that looks with the distress ink on there. I just love it. And with the combination of that pearl, white pearl paint as well, acrylic paint, I think it looks really, really cool. Not trying to go too fast, sorry. There's that side, and then here's the spine. Well, what's going to be the center of this signature piece right here. But you can see the crackle there. I think it looks really, really neat. And down here on the bottom, because you're going to be able to see this here when you flip the different pages within the signature. Pretty cool. And it started to peel up here too, which I think is just adds to the character. And then down over here too when I was taking my distress tool over the top. But look how cool that looks with the shimmer and the crackling and the ink. It just looks really, really cool, I think. So, I think that's going to be it for this video, you guys. And let me just zoom out just a little bit here. I'm just going to ink the edges while I'm finishing up chatting with you. I definitely will be, you know, doing a flip through of this particular project I'm working on. And I'll probably have it up on my YouTube channel later in the day on Friday or early Saturday afternoon-ish. And you're definitely going to see the whole piece together. So, I just kind of want to keep it under wraps as far as like what, you know, just certain parts of this project. I just like to kind of, just to kind of give a little bit of sneak peeks and then work on different components like this in the video so I can share with you different ways that I'm using the different mediums and projects and stuff to kind of age everything. So I'm just kind of going, again on the bottom part of this page and just trying to create that natural wear and tear in the darkening of the pages from when, you know, hands, all the oil and different things on our hands can kind of age things as well. So, alright. Trying to reserve my, you know, back up a little bit, Abby. Don't add too much because I really love doing that distress ink. So, I think this turned out pretty cool, you guys. If you have any questions, of course, go ahead and leave them in the comment section for me below. Or if you've used this or created this kind of same look with different mediums what I use, let me know. I'd love to check out, you know, if you have a blog or if you have a YouTube channel yourself, I would love to check out your work as well. And as I said, you know, we're constantly learning every day. So, yeah, it looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to ink on the edges on this part too in the spine. But as far as the piece I wanted to share in this video, this is it. So again, I will have links to all the products that I use, including the ink. And these are the two I use for the larger stuff from like it's in the meaning of like gel and the paste. See, I'm having a hard time talking today, but I'm going to push through. And then this Metallique acrylic paint from Finnabair. So I will see you all in my next video. Happy scrapping, happy planet, and happy crafting. And I'll see you next time. Bye!